yourself, and you have to be honest here. See, I don't know how to identify opportunities. Please just go and look for a job. I believe very strongly in my heart that not everybody is going to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody will be successful as business owners. So I don't see an opportunity. How is it that you see this opportunity? I don't see opportunities. Just go and do what? Look for a job. A business owner must be able to spot business opportunities in everything. Wow, I see something I can do there. Wow, I see an area I can play there. It's a very important skill. And when we say opportunities, number one, it is where is the business in this thing. For example, when you look at WhatsApp, how many of you use WhatsApp? I know in Nigeria, most of us, I don't understand. Many of you don't use WhatsApp? Okay. If you don't use WhatsApp, we may need to see after the service. Now, I do know there are alternatives to WhatsApp, but you must be using one of these. You can't be running your phone bill like you used to run it. You know, my phone bill went down significantly when I switched to WhatsApp. There are countries where they give you free minutes per month just because you are on the contract. So when you use those minutes, it's technically free because the contract amount is a sunk cost. In Nigeria, I know that if you buy certain amounts of credit, they can give you some free minutes on top. So except you have free minutes, you should really be using many of these things. Okay, but that's a digression. The real question is this, because we're talking about identifying opportunities. What is the business in WhatsApp? And why did Meta buy it over? What business is there in a WhatsApp? How do they make money from WhatsApp? Have you thought about that? Anytime you say this thing is free, know that it's costing somebody something. WhatsApp may be free to you, but it costs the owner a lot. Why did the parent company of Facebook buy Meta over? Since it's free. I want you to think about that. But think about this, that business is about identifying opportunities. What opportunities exist in this? For example, normal people will say, wow, I think I'm at a disadvantage living in Nigeria. But have you asked yourself, why is it that some white people are coming here and living here? Now, I know that in the current climate, a lot of businesses are now leaving, but some of them are not living permanently. Some of them are just watching from outside that if something improves, we are coming back. Why do you think it's like that? Why do you think that some of the biggest companies in Nigeria today, at least lately, many of them are owned by people who had traveled out and who came back into Nigeria? They are identified opportunity. One opportunity is the population. If you can do something for over 200 million people, it's very difficult to go bankrupt that way because there is the sheer population. Do you understand that? Hello? So, business opportunity. So, for example, you are in this church. And one thing you could ask yourself, one thing a business owner, the real business owner will be asking himself is, what can I do that a lot of people in the church here need? Such that almost all of the people in the church will be patronizing me. That's really what business is about. You look for something that a lot of people are into, or you look for a high margin good or product or service, and that's it, you're rich. So a business owner needs to be able to identify opportunity. If you are the type that say, I don't know what to do, I can't see anything, please just look for a job and be doing fine at your job, because it's not just the first identification of the opportunity a business owner needs. It needs to constantly identify opportunities. He also needs to be able to identify value. Now, for so many years, and I think probably even now, I didn't check, but probably even now, Amazon is not making money. Is somebody hearing me? There's revenue, but no profit. Okay? I didn't check what their current financials say, but for a very long time, we call such businesses loss leaders. The owner knows that he's not making money and is deliberately selling below his cost price. So he's making a loss on that business. But there's a reason he's doing that. Number one could be to kill the competition. He has money. So say, you are coming against me. It brings the value down such that the competition, they are holding business meetings every day. Say, how is he doing it? How is he able to fix that price? And the numbers are not agreeing. And the reason they are not agreeing is because the number cannot agree. You are dealing with somebody who has the capital. Okay, so he's making losses deliberately. And when every one of you has now left the business, it will now come up again. That could be a reason. Another reason is because he's using that product to sell another product. So even though he's making a loss in A, he's using A to sell B. And when you put A and B together, it's making a profit. That's actually what is happening to Amazon. So you must be able to identify value. What can I do that can be exchanged for value? You know, sometimes people come and ask you for money and beg you for money. And when people come like that, one of the things that happen is you assist. But when it keeps happening, even an adult does not feel like wanting to come. Do you know what I'm talking about? Now, versus somebody came one day and said, Pastor, I've written a book. And when I looked at it, actually it's a booklet. Very, 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 very tiny, like this. I can finish it in 20 minutes. Everything he has written, I can finish in 20 minutes. But because he brought a product to me, okay, I have this value I want to contribute. He brought it. And guess what? I was compelled, because it's just natural to appreciate effort. You want to appreciate people's effort. I think I gave him 20,000 naira or so. That was many years ago now. For just a few pages. I think he probably was selling the book for 500 naira or 300 naira, because it was many years ago. But what happened? For that effort, I gave him 20,000 naira. So identify business, identify value. It's a skill every business owner needs. So the assignment I'm going to give you is this. Just look around you here. What are business opportunities that you can see? What are business opportunities that you can see? I was in a meeting with some of our leaders last week, and I shared with them that for me, there are so many business opportunities I see here. I don't know why a lot of people are not tapping into it. For example, how many of you here hit Gary? Okay, almost everybody. Right? Maybe a few people don't hit Gary. That's fine. Almost everybody hit Gary. Guess what? Yet, we don't have a Gary supplier in the church. Some years ago, when Pastor Okechukwu was around, he got into that business. He will ship in Gary. They will fry it very well picked and neat. How many of you remember he was doing that business? And he wasn't just doing it in the church. He was doing it in the office. You know, when Jesus wanted to pick his disciples, he went to people that were already working, tax collectors and things like that, because sometimes they are the best at doing more work. So he had a job, yet he added that at the side also. They will fry it for him, they will ship it to Lagos, and they will sell everywhere. And when he was leaving, guess what happened? His brother took over that Minister Emeka took over that, and he continued with the customer base of his brother, and he continued selling the business. Now, he left, and nobody sells again. And I said to my wife the other day that if anybody here is doing that business, let's patronize them every month. Almost an automated business, because you are not the one frying. You are not the one doing the cassava. All you are doing is talk to the suppliers. They bring it down. You put your margin on top. You bring it to church on Sunday. You reach out and say, Mommy, as your garri not finished, it should have finished by now. Are you the one monitoring our garri? Yes, I'm the one, ma. You bought the last garri on July 24th. I supplied it by 1:20 p.m. By now, the garri should have finished. I'm bringing garri for you on Monday. See, it's real. Do you understand what I'm saying? One of my friends the other time in the office, she began to bring to the office soup, prepared soup. You know, she hired people that were doing the soup for her. You pre-order and they do the soup for you. In fact, there was one day I saw a nice flyer, and this person, what does she do? In Lekki there, Lekki phase 1. She cooks different types of soup. You place an order, one bowl of, I think, a icon. And this was probably like, how many years ago? Maybe like 6 years ago. 6 years ago. One bowl of a icon that's probably a small family of 3 can take was about 8,000 then. So I was like, oh, really? Let's just have something different from what they cook at home. At least they too will rest, then we too will have variety. So I went, I placed an order, and then when I closed from work, it was ready. I drove down there. My goodness. When I got there, you know who the person that delivered? The person that delivered dressed like a nurse. A chef, but dressed like a nurse, came out in immaculate white. I said, Auntie Bimura. But guess what? It was so beautiful. It was so nice. That's why, and it's a non-philosophy, that the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer. It's a non-philosophy, because once you get the principle, it keeps working for you all over and over. So I can't emphasize too much on your ability to identify opportunities. It's so important. And it reflects in the way you do your things every time. Identifying opportunities. What can I do? Why is it like this? Why is that not like that? There was a time a brother here decided to go into laundry business. And guess what? He told each of us that, sir, I'm into laundry business. It's not enough to just pray that God will bless me. I'm now doing business. I said, well, if you can iron my clothes very well and bring it out very beautifully, you have my business going forward. And guess what? When he did the first one, he did it so well, so nice, that I said, that is it. And I think about a few of us, I remember I was giving him work. Pastor Wale was giving him his business. Pastor Kechuku was giving him his business. A lot of us were giving him our business. Why? Because he was paying attention to the fabrics, and he was paying attention to the finesse. The finishing was good. It was as if we gave it to a big business. Without all the overhead, he was doing it so well. I even offered to do home service. So he comes to your house with his iron. We had one like that also. He'll come to your house with your iron or with his iron. You give him a table. He uses your electricity. And he does everything that he needs to do. And by evening, he is gone. A small business. And he can graduate from that to an agency. As he has more clients, he employs more people who can support him in that venture. Why? Because he has identified an opportunity. Somebody says, why don't I wash myself? Sorry, I'm not going to wash myself because my per hour bill is a lot more than doing the washing myself. So we are at different scales in this thing. But it's an agency somebody can start. Hallelujah. Is somebody still with me?